Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and I have a really awesome video to share with you today. I'm going to be creating these two amazing cards. They are so beautiful, and they are a preview of our upcoming occasions catalog, which is going to start January 3rd. Here is that catalog. And if you would like to get your hands on a copy of this catalog, I will have a link in the description of this video that you can register for me to send one to you if you don't already have a demonstrator. Now, I am so excited about these cards because they use my favorite suite in the catalog, which is the Painted Poppies. There's actually 2 stamp sets that coordinate as well as 2 sets of dies. And let me just tell you, they are both amazing and you're going to want all of them, especially because I have 2 classes planned for one for January, one for February using this whole suite. So you are just going to go crazy when you see how amazing these bundles are. So let me give you a little taste of that with these cards here. So I've kind of got a simpler one and then I have a little bit more complex one. And I also have some really good tips along the way. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I've got this. It's like a little Plano tackle box that I got at Wally World, and I die cut up a whole bunch of different colors of the different dies, and that way I can just come to this box, pull the pieces out that I want, and get stamping. And I don't have to wait, so I'm actually going to pull out this piece because I actually need it for my first card. Okay, so this is really handy to have. I do that a lot with many of the stamp sets that I use. That come with dies in lots of shapes. That way you just die cut a whole bunch up, then you can play and really kind of experiment and have fun rather than individually die cut each as you go. So I like to do things that way. Now I'm going to start with this card. This features the Painted Poppies stamp set and the coordinating dies for that. They look like this, along with this edge piece, which is sitting by my Big Shot right now. And this is a really cool little border piece. And what I love is you can see all the little pieces just fall right out, which is wonderful. They die cut like a dream, which I love. Now, I did a little research. This was the bundle I presented at Onstage, as you probably know. And when I did my research, I found out that poppies come in a multitude of colors, basically everything under the sun. So you can do this in any color combination that you would like, of course. But I'm just going to start by stamping those 2 beautiful poppies like so on my card. And this is a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to add to it the solid image. And what I love about this is I could definitely color these in with my blends. I could color them with watercolors if I wanted, aqua painters, but I'm just going to color them in like this. 1 and 2. Boom, I'm done. I love that. Then I'm going to add a little definition with this detail kind of image right over the top. Okay, and that's going to make them a little darker. I will tell you though, in my sample, I actually stamped off the first image and then did the second one full strength, but actually you can do it both ways and you will get great results. This is just a little richer color. So that looks fantastic. Now I'm going to take the leaf. And I hate the stem on here. So when I ink up my leaf, I'm only going to use the ink pad. Like, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm only inking up the leaf portion. I'm not inking up the stem. And then I won't see the stem on there. So I kind of like that look. I cover most of that up anyway with my sentiment. So in this case, it's not that big a deal, but I do like that tip, because sometimes if you want to just put it up to the flower, you don't want the stem sticking into the flower. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my little tip for that. Okay, now I'm going to add some color to those leaves as well using the little image that comes in here. It's just like the other one, only it's a little smaller. So perfect. Don't you love how quick and easy you can color these images? I love that part. All right, I'm also going to use my sentiment. Now this is coming from the Peaceful Moments stamp set, and this is a word stamp set. Now the bundle for these are all of these detail poppy images, which we're going to use on the next card. So while the two bundles are kind of different, I love both of them and have used both of them a lot. So I'm really digging this mega suite from the catalog. Okay, now what I want to do is put my little strip right over the top so it kind of covers up all of that. This is 3/4 of an inch, and it's actually left over from stamping some other things. I'll just ink that up with my Memento as well. You can use StazOn or whatever color ink you prefer. And I'll just stamp that kind of over here like that. So it says, congratulations. The stamp set has basically everything you could need. There's sympathy, thank you, birthday, all kinds of stuff. There's even something perfect for weddings or anniversaries. So you really have all your bases covered. Now I'm going to put a little snail on the edge of this piece right here, and I probably put it not quite in the right spot, but that's okay. I'm just going to kind of center that on my word, and then this just creates a little border along the bottom edge, which I think is kind of cool. Isn't that neat? All right, and then we'll take the rest of this and pop it up onto our card. And you know this is one of my favorite things to do, so I'll just put a few dimensionals on there. And then we're just going to place this on our white panel. And then I'm going to adhere it like so to my black panel. Like that. Okay. Next up, get a little glue. Go like that. Oh, so cute. All right, so that looks outstanding. And then I'm just gonna place it on a crushed curry card base. Now you could do this in every color under the rainbow. And so this would be perfect for making a set of cards and putting them in a little box or whatever to give as a gift, or just make up a bunch to have on hand. So there's that card. Now our other card is also so pretty. So let me show you how to do this. It's really easy. I'm going to start with a piece of DSP that's 4x6, and the printed paper in this suite is amazing. You guys are just not even going to believe how gorgeous it is until you see it in person, I think. Now, one of the things that's coming up is we have this super awesome deal in January where if you sign up to become a demonstrator, you get some free goodies. Now, whether you want to run a business or just get your goodies at a discount, you can get this cute little mini trimmer for free with your starter kit, or you can pre-order it as a demonstrator this month only. It's pretty great. It also comes with a sampling of printed papers in it. So I started with a 4x6 piece of printed paper, and I'm just going to flip this over. And actually I want it to go like this. And then here is my pattern on the top and then the stripes on the bottom. I'm actually going to adhere this to a 4x6 piece of Whisper White, which I thought I had, but I guess I don't. Let's see, that's too big. Let's see. Okay, I found my piece of paper. So I've got a 4x6 piece of Whisper White, and it's just a little easier to adhere these to a panel of Whisper White cardstock than it is to try and do what I'm about to do just freehand. And I'll show you it makes sense in just a second. I'm going to tie ribbon around the edge. Okay, so I've got those two layers, and they're just so pretty. And then I'm going to take some of the ribbon that comes in this suite. This is called the Whisper White 1/4" crinkled seam binding, and it's amazing. I love this ribbon. It's so easy to work with. You can, of course, color it with your blends or whatever to get different colors from it, which is awesome. Oh, and I was going to tie a bow, but well, I'll tie a bow. I cut it too short for that. All right. It's so thin, so it's going to mail like a dream, which is always one of the things that impresses me about ribbon, because the post office does not like it when you put bows on your cards. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. They charge you an extra ounce stamp for that here, at least here in the US. All right, so I'm going to tie my little bow on here, and then I'm going to actually adhere this to a Memories and More card. And then they come with envelopes. So these are 4x6 sized cards. So they're a little bit bigger. So look at that. So cute. And then we're going to decorate this baby up. So I'll kind of scooch my bow over to the side a little bit. And then, like I said, I'm going to put that on one of these note cards. They come pre-scored, so they're super easy to use. They come in 2 sizes. There's a 3x4, which is perfect for like gift enclosures or little notes to leave someone. And then there's also the 4x6 size like this, which is nice because it's just a little bigger than our typical cards. And I think this is a substantial card because what we're going to put on it is so gorgeous. All right, now I took, I pulled the pieces out of my little tackle box ahead of time. I've got some rich raspberry, and then the tops are blackberry bliss, and I'm just going to adhere those together. And then my centers here are actually going to be die cut from some silver glimmer paper. Uh-oh, what happened to my other center? Oh, it's gone. Well, anyway, here it is. To put these together, I'm going to use my little sponge trick and my liquid glue. So for that, I'm going to take my sponge that's on my clip here, my silicone mat, and I'm going to adhere these pieces together like so. So I'll flip this over and just sponge that adhesive on, and then I'll line it up with my solid die cut piece. I love that both die cuts are in there, so you can do this exact thing right here, and look at that, so easy. Then I will repeat that process on this card, or this larger flower. And the easiest thing to do is kind of just line this wave up this section. That's what I found anyway. It works really nicely, and then everything is kind of stuck together perfectly. Now I also die cut 2 leaves, and I just did these out of white. I've also done some out of black, and those were pretty cool too. So real easy to just do some simple kind of unexpected colors. And by the way, I will tell you that these poppies, and I'll be doing a video on this probably once the new catalog launches, but these poppies actually come in white and black, which I think are so cool. Like in real life, they come in those colors. So they're kind of fun. I've had a lot of fun playing with this. Okay, so there I've got my leaves together. So let's finish assembling our card, and then we will have a beauty on our hands. All right, so I'm going to start by putting my larger image on the card popped up, kind of like that. I like to leave a little room so that I can tuck things where I need to tuck and whatnot. So we'll just put that on like so. And then I'm going to adhere my smaller flower kind of like that. Okay. And then my leaf, I'm just going to put a glue dot or 2 on here. Maybe one more under that leaf. And then we'll just sort of have that coming out like so from my card. And maybe we'll trim these just a little so that you don't miss any of that beautiful flower. There we go. That's a little better. All right. And then here's where the card really sings. We are going to place these centers on here. And you can glue dot them, you can pop them up with a mini dimensional, whatever you want. Since I've already got these popped up, I'm just going to place that right there. And then I love, there's 3 different centers you can choose from. So I've got this sort of half one for my smaller flower, and the curve kind of just lines right up with the curve of the die. So look at how gorgeous that is. Okay, now of course I'm going to add a sentiment to this from my Same Peaceful Moments stamp set. And this one is so pretty. It goes great with this card. It says, "Thinking of you with all my heart." So, oh, isn't that beautiful? Now, one more little detail we can do. I've got my envelope here. So what if I took some of this printed paper and I covered the flap of my envelope with the glue and placed that right on there. And then I'm going to trim it out quick. And then I'll have a gorgeous coordinating envelope. And I love all the things that coordinate out of this suite. So I'll just use my snips to trim that edge right out. And then we have what can only be described as a gorgeous coordinating envelope for our card. So I hope you've loved this video. If there's any of these items that you're interested in, they will be available to purchase starting January 3rd. And watch my blog or register for my newsletter so you can catch all the details about the classes that I have coming in January and February. I can't wait for you to see them. I will see you guys soon. Thanks for stamping with me today. Bye-bye.